Specifically, how has the transition into fatherhood been? Because, I mean, even if you're started off with the greatest example of parenthood in the world, you still kind of get thrown into it not knowing what to do. You know, you're really kind of just like flying by the seat of
Yeah.
your pants and learning from square one because, you know, there's no fucking baby school. And on top of it, like all babies are different, and you know the sort of childbirthing and raising experience is case by case. You know what has the process been like, sort of learning something that's so heavy from the start? I mean, you know, you're somebody who in your career has kind of like mastered their craft in a way, and now you're sort of thrown into this thing where you really kind of got to do it from square one and just kind of learn as you're going along.
That's a really good word you use. Transition. I would say it's crazy. It's something that it's something I always wanted, and you can really hear it in my music. Like I've always like referenced my future, like son or daughter or children or family. It's something that I've always wanted because I never really had it. It's funny. I wrote a song last night with a buddy of mine who was just playing his guitar, and I wrote this song because I still work on music, which I'm sure we'll get into later, but for my own, just to make me happy because I have to, because it's like been a form of therapy outside of my actual therapist. But it's a real, it's just been this, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like weird, man, because it's something that I've always wanted. And then when you get it, you realize it's not necessarily what you thought it was going to be. It's like way better than that. But then the reason I wanted a family, probably really deep down, is just to like have something that I never had, which I don't think is bad, because I'm blessed enough to be in the position to give my son and my wife those things. But then you realize like that's no reason to actually have a family out of spite. So then you have the family and you're like, oh, fuck all the reasons that I thought. Can I cuss?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay. So I'm like, fuck all the reasons that I thought I wanted a family because of all the things that I didn't have growing up. It's not about that at all. It's really, truly to enhance your life. That's how I feel also, not to like go off in the deep end about like smoking dope or, you know, drinking alcohol. Like a lot of people will get lost in that or use that as an escape. I use those things to enhance, you know what I mean? And I feel like my life, my family has enhanced my life more than any substance ever could. And it's really incredible.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, to your point there, I wouldn't feel too bad about whatever your motivations may have been going into parenthood, fatherhood, because the thing is, like, once you're on the other end of, you know, of that sort of family fence, like, you know, you don't know what it is until you're there. You know what I mean? So you don't know
Yeah,
what
for
it is
sure.
exactly that you're wanting. You know, you don't understand what it is to want it before you have it truly, you
That's
know?
like fucking life in a nutshell, bro. That's how it was
Sure.
with rap, with music. Like, I thought I wanted all this shit, and then you get it, and you're like, I mean, this is tight. But then you realize like what's actually most important, at least to the certain individual, right? Whatever they desire in life.
Sure. And speaking, you know, about your own you know, past with with family and childhood, and you know, talking about wanting something because you didn't have it necessarily, like in what other ways would you say like your upbringing has sort of informed in your own mind, now that you're on the other side of the fence, like what kind of parent, what kind of father you want to be, either now in this moment or in the future, as you know, see Bobby getting older or decide to have more kids?
Great question, dude. Man, you're kind of dope at interviewing, bro. I've seen like a few of your interviews, but shit, I've seen a lot of your reviews. But man, I mean, well, knowing that, I knew you were gonna just kill it. But
We ask the hard hitting questions over here.
they're great. Um, uh, I just always just wanted to be a good dad. Like at the end of the day, I just want to be a good person, right? And it's like, and I've always wanted to make good music. And at the end of the day, all this shit is subjective, you know, depending on how you want to raise your kids or not, or this or that, or how you lead your life. Me personally, I really want to be a dad that can communicate with his children and be open about everything from sex to politics to race to racism to all this, and just be so open about it, because that's a lot of stuff that's been like taboo. But I feel that as the generations evolve, it's like kind of less and less taboo, and I feel like the majority of people tend to be more open in general, especially with these things like birth control and all this stuff. Like back in the day, it was like, no, there's no, that's it. You know, I remember my mom found condoms in my backpack when I was like 14, and she was like, I think I talk about this in the book I'm writing. She was like, you know, what the hell is this? I found these condoms in your backpack. And we were like walking home from the store of all times to tell me this. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, what is this? And I was like, well, I'm not having sex. I'm still a virgin, but like, just in case, you know what I mean? She's like, there is no just in case. The only birth control is Jesus Christ in your heart. And I'm just like, dude, like, I'm just like, are you fucking serious? You are married, your husband's in jail, and you just fucked some dude from AA last week. And you're telling me to abstain from sex? It was hilarious. And I learned a lot from that moment. And the biggest thing is like, dude, like nothing more or less, you know, unless you're like little Bobby's like, you know, killing rabbits in the backyard or something with his bare hands. It's like, yo, chill. But for the most part, yeah, I want to be able to communicate. I want to be there for him. I make jokes all the time that every time I leave the house, I'm like, all right, I'm going out for a pack of cigarettes. I'll be
Jesus
right back. But, you know, I don't want the things that happened to me as a child to happen to him regarding family at the end of the day. And I'm just going to do the best that I can to be there for him and communicate. So long story short, communication is the biggest thing that I would like to have with my child. Me and my wife have great communication, which is awesome. But I just kind of want to build this family together.
Thank you very much for watching this interview clip over on TND Streams. To see the full interview, click on the video link next to my head or down below, or hit up the link to subscribe to the channel or see our Patreon page to support what we do and get some extra bonus monthly content in the process. Anthony Fantano, forever.